Hello and welcome to News on NTA International. I'm Nancy Godi-Angonihu. Our sign language personality is Bamidele John. First, the headlines. United Nations urges efforts to prevent further escalation of Ukraine-Russia crisis. King Charles continues his state visit to France, addresses the French Senate. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visits UN headquarters, meets with Antonio Guterres. And now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu was a special guest of the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres in New York. President Tinubu arrived at the UN headquarters last Wednesday evening on the invitation of the global body's helmsman. The meeting behind closed doors lasted less than an hour. The Nigerian leader also stopped by at the office of the Deputy Secretary General and Nigerian former Minister Amina Mohammed for a similar visit. Earlier, President Tinubu was at the National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotation Stock Markets, NASDAQ, an American stock exchange based in New York City. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce U.S. Africa Business Center hosted the president and honored him with the opportunity to perform the iconic bell-ringing ceremony at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. The ceremony on the sidelines of the 78th session of the UN General Assembly symbolizes the significance of the economic ties between the United States and Nigeria. Now, reinvigorating efforts in tackling drivers and root causes of conflicts that will end the cycles of violence globally is the focus of the 2023 International Day of Peace celebration in Nigeria. Adebola Brookslin was at the United Nations Abuja House venue of the celebration.
Interstate wars, terrorism, divided security systems are some of the challenges experts say are confronting the world. Knowing that peace is the central purpose of the United Nations, UN Nigeria, in line with its charter, said it is determined to save future generations from the scourge of war, which twice in man's lifetime has brought untold sorrow.
Equality and non-discrimination, which we focus on in human rights, can build peaceful societies. We know that peaceful and resilient societies, evidence shows that.
Peace is everything. Without peace, there is no life. And the students want you to know that you must live in peace.
The UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework 2023 to 2027, in agreement with the Nigerian government, outlined several transformative initiatives grouped under 4 strategic pillars of prosperity, planet, people, and peace.
We really want to remind people to exercise tolerance and acceptance of others. We can build a more peaceful society here in Nigeria if we remember the core principles of being kind, being tolerant, and being understanding to others.
This year's focus, Actions for Peace, our ambition for the global goals, is to remind mankind that fostering peace contributes to the realization of the SDGs, a vehicle to achieving a culture of peace for all. Adebola Brookslin, NTA News.
United Nations has advocated efforts from all sides to prevent further escalation of the Russia-Ukraine tensions. UN Scribe Antonio Guterres made the appeal at the Security Council open debates on the Ukraine crisis. Again, Adebola Brookslin reports.
The debate, which is one of the sideline events at the ongoing UN General Assembly, focused on maintaining peace and security in Ukraine
and to lay the foundations for sustainable peace.
Antonio Guterres urged countries to recommit to their obligations under the UN Charter and use the full range of diplomatic tools it provides.
We are fully committed to the sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity of Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders. This war is already causing limitless suffering. Its continuation risks further perilous escalation. There is never an alternative to dialogue, diplomacy and a just peace. Thank you.
Дякую. Шановний
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the UN is in a deadlock of matters of aggression and called for a deprivation of Russia's veto power in the UN. He also outlined a 10-point formula for ending the Russia-Ukraine tensions and calling for a complete withdrawal of all Russian troops.
Full restoration of Ukraine's effective control over the entire state border and exclusive economic zone, including the Black and Azov Seas, as well as in the Kerch Strait.
On the flip side, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov highlighted the legitimacy of Russia's veto power, which he said is being regulated by the UN Charter.
Those calling for this, are they familiar with the statements of Ukrainian leadership about what they intend to do with the residents of the relevant territories? And with respect to them, publicly, at the official level, repeatedly there have been threats voiced.
The call for peace by the United Nations coincides with the 2023 International Day of Peace. Adebola Brookslin, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu's determined global push to aggressively attract foreign direct investment to Nigeria got a major boost as he becomes the first African leader to ring the closing bell at Nasdaq, the world's second largest stock exchange. The National Association of Securities Dealers Automatic Quotation System, Nasdaq, the world's financial capital, invited President Tinubu to ring the closing bell, making him the first African president to ever receive the honor. In a statement by the special advisor to the president's media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, the president, flanked by Nigerian business leaders and officials of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, in a trademark fashion, did not fail to seize the opportunity presented by the historic moment to boldly advance his foreign investment push as he stood in front of financial markets at the famous stock exchange. Describing it as a great honor, President Tinubu said he has brought Nigeria to their doorstep. He added that the greatest economy in Africa is Nigeria, with immense opportunities where foreigners can invest without fear, pointing out that his government continues to address long-standing problems and impediments to restore and unify the foreign exchange rate market to a stable and trustworthy level, which will allow new investors to seamlessly bring their money into the country, Nigeria, free of worries about whether or not they can take their money out at any point in time. Promotion and protection of human rights globally and provision of adequate nutrition to victims of war, flood and repressions topped the agenda at the 17th meeting of the regular 54th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Charles Alpha reports.
Members on the floor of the United Nations General Assembly drew Council's attention to the need to defend victims in some parts of the world, particularly in India, Africa, Iran, and in Ukraine. There were concerns about suppressions of rights of women and forced marriage of girls to beliefs and religion.
The Iranian authorities have executed more than 1,200 individuals. Shockingly, this number includes at least 38 women and 8 individuals who were minors at the time of their alleged offenses.
The Constitution guaranteed fundamental rights and equal protection before the law to all citizens, regardless of their caste or religion.
There was critical need for immediate international intervention to address the culture of impunity an alarming surge in execution.
We call upon the Council to unequivocally, unambiguously and resolutely condemn all acts of abduction, forced religious conversion and forced marriage of women and girls belonging to religious or belief minorities.
The United Nations should take urgent measures to protect human rights, including the right to education, especially the education of girls.
Members are calling on the International Human Rights Council for collective actions and commitment to protect lives as well as rights of victims around the world, with a renewed mandate to strengthen mechanisms to combat unilateral sanctions by world leaders who clamp down or violate rights of citizens. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Away from stories on United Nations General Assembly, centuries of cultural and social relationship between France and the United Kingdom was rekindled by a 3-day official visit to France by King Charles and Queen Camilla. Kolo Mohammed reports that on the second day of the visit, the king addressed the French Parliament.
Charles and Queen Camilla in France on the second day of their 3-day state visit. The king spoke for about 20 minutes on the Senate floor in Paris, giving his speech mainly in French. He said the late Queen was a golden thread in the tapestry between France and the UK. He also praised both countries' shared commitment to freedom and democracy. He is the first British monarch to speak on the floor of the upper house of the French Parliament. The king was given a standing ovation by members of the upper and lower houses as he entered the chamber.
Have once more demonstrated the fragility of so much that we hold dear. Just as we stand together against military aggression, so must we strive together to protect the world from our most existential challenge of all, that of global warming, climate change, and the catastrophic destruction of...
The king spoke about the UK and France's cultural and sporting links, saying millions of us visit each other's countries every year. King Charles said tens of thousands of British rugby fans are currently following their national team around France, enjoying the fantastic spectacle of the Rugby World Cup, my son and daughter-in-law amongst them. He says the two countries share mutual admiration and commitment to the rules of the game. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
Syrian President Bashar al-Assad visits Beijing in what Syrian Foreign Ministry tagged gratitudinal trip. Kolo Mohammed once more reports.
Syrian President Bashar al-Assad arrived in China on Thursday on his first visit to the country since the start of Syria's 12-year conflict, during which Beijing has been one of his main backers. China's foreign ministry says President Assad will attend the opening ceremony of the Asian Games, an international sports event beginning Saturday in the eastern Chinese city of Hangzhou. President Assad's office said the Syrian leader was invited by Chinese President Xi Jinping for a summit and should bring with him a high-ranking Syrian delegation. China has been expanding its reach in the Middle East after mediating a deal in March between Saudi Arabia and Iran, as it continues to support President Assad in the Syrian conflict, which has killed 500,000 people and left large parts of the nation in ruin. China could play a major role in the future in Syria's reconstruction, which is expected to cost tens of billions of dollars. Syria last year joined the China Belt and Road Initiative, in which Beijing expands its influence in developing regions through infrastructure projects. Syrian President last visited China in 2004, a year after the US-led invasion of neighboring Iraq, and at a time when Washington was mounting pressure on Syria. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
Kenya has formally established diplomatic relations with Haiti. This was disclosed as President William Ruto and Haiti Prime Minister Ariel Henry witnessed the signing of the agreement at the Kenyan mission in New York, the United States. Francis Udojo reports.
The agreement signed by Minister Jean-Victor Janus and Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua will facilitate cooperation in areas of mutual interest. The Kenyan President William Ruto called for a holistic approach that includes political, security and developmental considerations to effectively address the situation in Haiti. He said Kenya will do its part in leading a well-resourced and effective multinational security support mission in the country.
I'm truly grateful that we have found time to share these few moments with you. Again, just to confirm to you the government of Kenya's readiness to work with you and the great people of Haiti in the matters that are of importance to Haiti as a people and the government of Haiti and to humanity.
Prime Minister Henry said Haiti needs all the necessary support to address immense security, humanitarian, environmental and economic challenges framework for today's deployment. He said the people of Haiti look forward to the elimination of criminal gangs that have been inflicting terror since 2021.
United Nations, that's UNESCO, has voted to include the ancient archaeological site Tel El Sultan, literally meaning the Sultan's Hill in Jericho, one of World Heritage lists in Palestine. Declaring the oldest fortified city in the world, Jericho is situated within the West Bank, an area administered by the Palestinian Authority. The decision has met with enthusiasm by local authorities and experts who said the site has universal values that made it eligible to apply for the World Heritage List. It is the oldest agricultural settlement in the world. General Director of Tourism and Antiquities in Jericho, Iyad Hamdan, said this location and El Sultan had witnessed human transition from a life of gathering to a life of hunting and agriculture, adding that being on the list will help preserve it and provide the people economic benefits. The Tel El Sultan area contains prehistoric ruins dating back to the 9th millennium BC, predating even the Egyptian pyramids. Hamdan further elaborated that it features 29 layers of ancient civilizations starting from the Natufian period, where people built the oldest tower in history, and the beginning of the construction of semi-elliptical houses, rectangular houses, pottery and economic systems. However, on its part, Israel's foreign ministry has expressed reservations about the decision, viewing it as another instance of the Palestinian Authority's politicization of UNESCO. This is news on NTA International. We take a break.
From humble beginnings to the extraordinary, we've witnessed incredible bonds, the rise of legends in the most challenging of times, and the most unforgettable moments that kept us at the edge of our seat. Everything up till now was just the beginning. Legends go head to head as timelines have collapsed for the ultimate showdown. Welcome to Big Brother Niger All-Stars.
Proudly sponsored by Money Point, powering dreams. In association with HFM, online trading at its finest.
Thanks for staying with us. European Union, through the African EU project, is scaling up the technical capacity base of young Nigerians in the digital space. And Debola Brookslin reports that the project is being implemented by 11 partners representing the Digital Innovation Hub.
These young Nigerians have background knowledge in ICT. Facilitators here are raising their capacities to tackle the challenges they face and make them more effective in driving digital innovation in Nigeria.
This is going to help the unemployed youth start up an initiative, something to do, not just going for white-collar jobs, because we know from the NBS that the jobs out there is not up to the number of graduates we have every year in the country.
Many of us don't know how to transform our business from that small scale to a large scale. So when we are given opportunities to learn this kind of things, we get to know really what we need to do.
The project is also aimed at strengthening the digital innovation ecosystem in Africa by targeting existing digital innovation hubs that will attract foreign direct investments.
Foreign funds will be pumped into the country by reliable foreign companies, and that will generate local employment.
There's a lot of opportunities here, so them coming down to Nigeria to invest means that it's going to boost our economy, it's going to make our economy better.
Beneficiaries are expected to support the creation of collective projects that will boost the digital economy, youth and women empowerment, as well as fostering innovation and growth. Adebola Brookslyn, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has felicitated with his wife, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, on her 63rd birthday. The president, in his open letter of felicitation, described his wife as his trusted partner in all ventures and one special person who has consistently filled his life with joy. Thanking her for her steadfast love and patience through all the years they have shared in the uncertainty of danger and tyranny, just as they have experienced adventure, love, and fun. While thanking her for all that they have shared, President Bola Tinubu said the bond is surely growing stronger as she will remain his ever-present sunshine. In the meantime, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has joined in congratulating First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu on her 63rd birthday. The minister stated that it was for good reason that she shared her birthday with the nation, nurturing the weak and the less privileged citizens and improving their fortunes. He noted that within a few months into the life of this administration, the First Lady had established herself as the mother of the nation. The Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Zephaniah Gisalo, is advocating a more liberal process that will allow opportunities for more deserving Nigerians to be conferred with the National Order of Merit Award. The minister made the appeal when he paid a courtesy visit to the Nigerian National Merit Award, an agency under his purview. Kenneth Nanim reports.
The Nigerian National Order of Merit Award is conferred on distinguished Nigerians and intellectuals, both at home and in the diaspora, who have made outstanding contributions to the academic growth and development in Nigeria. Meanwhile, presentation by the Acting Secretary of the Nigerian National Merit Award, Macy Musa Murwa, indicates that only 79 persons have benefited so far, a number the minister believes is not good enough.
We are not yet there yet. I think we should open more doors now. Even during when the organization was created by the Act, at that time we were not digital. Now that we're in digital world, so many people have done well too.
The minister also made commitment towards enhancing budgetary allocation through the National Assembly and provision of permanent office space for agencies under his purview.
At the time movement of Abuja, they were not in the law. There are new agencies. We should apply for the land. I'm going to facilitate this thing so I will make sure we have land on our own to build a complex for the agencies.
Meanwhile, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Ibiene Patricia Roberts, recommended that going forward, Nigerians whose contributions keyed into realization of the 8-point agenda of the present administration should also be considered. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, says the present administration is poised to strengthen the nation's judicial system through the improvement of welfare and working conditions of judicial officers across the country. The Attorney General disclosed this at a valedictory court session in honor of a retired Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Amina Adamu Augi. Judiciary correspondent Chukwunomso Mwabweze reports.
This valedictory court section here at the nation's apex court, though ceremonial, is quite significant as it marks an end to the professional career of one of Nigeria's finest jurists, Justice Amina Adamu Augi, who retired on the 3rd of September 2023 after attaining the mandatory retirement age of 70. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, who presided over the session, set the tone for the outpouring of encomium on the retired justice.
His Lordship is a rare gem, an unblemished symbol of humility and piety. Her judgments are not only incisive, but equally analytical and rich in content and context.
The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi SAN, while commending Justice Augi's contributions to the growth and development of the nation's judicial system, emphasized federal government's determination to transform the working conditions of judicial officers at all levels.
We are also appreciative of the greater goal of achieving a true independence for the judiciary, which can only be achieved through a comprehensive and sustainable reform process which requires attention to details.
You will be remembered. Your words are in the law reports, and for the next 100 years, generations to come will read it, that this is what Justice Adamu Augi said in this judgment.
Decisions of the courts in this country have been responsible for keeping this country together, I will always say, and my Lord is a major contributor in the sustenance of this country.
The celebrant in her valedictory speech recalled with nostalgia her 45 years of service to Nigeria and humanity.
Being a Supreme Court judge entails the weighty responsibility of safeguarding the Constitution, ensuring legal accuracy, and protecting individual rights. Despite all that, and the challenges and intense scrutiny they face, their commitment to upholding the rule of law remains paramount and unwavering.
Called to the Nigerian bar in 1978, rising through the ranks of the legal profession, Justice Augi was sworn in as a Justice of the Supreme Court on the 7th of November 2016. She is a renowned scholar, a life bencher, as well as a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies. Chukwu Nonsonwa Bueze, NTA News.
Friday's weather forecast is next. On behalf of our sign language personality, Bamidele John, this is Nancy Godiangudi thanking you for watching.